No,
So, all right, what do we want to do to like? What's the first thing we need to change?
I would say the BPM. How fast was the original?
128.
Give it 10 BPM.
All right.
Yeah. It's funny how everything is cyclical. I mean, in the late 90s, techno was between 136 and 142.
It got fast, and now
And
it's
yes,
fast. Then it got slow.
yeah, and now it's fast again. I mean, like there's another, I wouldn't even call it techno scene, or, it's more like hardcore scene almost, where there's 150, 160 BPM. But a lot of the more serious techno, underground techno, is around what it was in the late 90s. It's the same speed, 136 to 140. So 138, I think, is good. And you listen to it now.
Right. Well, that's the thing now. Like the groove is
Sounds
going to
fine, right?
change now because it's
Yeah.
like speeding it up though. It makes it a little busier.
Yes. And I think what we have to do next is go into the synth.
Okay. What do
I would say,
you hear? What just happened?
oh yes.
So this is another workflow thing. I brought in these stems, right? But they're not warped. So they in the original tempo they were correct, right? We were 128. So we can hear where that hi-hat comes in. That's what it's supposed to sound like. So now I got to go in here and take these audio clips and turn warping on. Right? That's just a problem because we had to bring in the stems.
I saw some comments
Yeah?
of people saying 138 is the right tempo for now.
Yeah.
I agree. I think 138 for techno is a good speed. And
It's not
I'm not
too
talking.
fast.
Exactly. When it's too fast, you lose the groove. And I feel like, let's say, if you're anything above 140, it's very difficult to maintain a good groove, in my opinion. Everybody has their own opinions, but that's just like for Tronic, for example. I barely ever sign anything that's 140 or higher.
Okay.
It just doesn't work for me.
Well, that's good to know for anyone out there who dreams of being released on Tronic.
True.
Now you know. All right, let's try this again. Let's see if the warping worked out. And we need to be careful because like the warp speeding it up is going to change the sound of it a little bit. So seems to be okay on the ride cymbals. Actually, I haven't sped it up yet.
Yeah, we need to clean up the mix a bit. Like, for example, the open hi-hat is very long.
Yeah. How are we going to... It's in audio, though. How are we going to fix that? We might have to replace it.
Okay. Then we replace it and we put a shorter open hi-hat, I think.
All right, now it's working. The hi-hats are at the right tempo. Let's get these return channels out of the way. There's a track here that I think we didn't use. It's like a little...
Sounds like a 606 tom.
Yeah, it was muted. I'm pretty sure we got rid of it. It. So you want to look at the synth?
Yes, maybe we make the notes a bit shorter because they're quite full, huh?
Kinda, but like I'm using this arpeggiator to reduce the length of the 16th notes, but maybe we need to check out what's happening to the sound. Look what we called the sound.
Very nice. Thank you very much, John. Much appreciated.
Completely forgot. That must have been a joke, and I don't even know why anymore. It's only been how many? 6-7 years?
You're just mad at me. It's okay.
I was probably mad at you because we were fighting over a kick drum again.
No, not anymore.
No, we don't do that. Okay, yeah.
We actually used to get into fights, John and I, when we were sitting in the studio all hungover in our 20s. We were discussing, the length of a hi-hat or like
the tiniest things, right?
We're getting into fights over 808 ride or 909 ride. Stupid stuff like that. But you know what?
Mhm.
When you're passionate, you know, nothing wrong with having
No, and
with your strong opinions.
it all worked out, obviously.
Of course.
So you think it sounds too full? I mean, too long? It's really short already. I mean, that's really
That's too short.
Yeah,
That's too short. That's too short.
I might have been automating this. I'm not sure.
I would prefer a little bit shorter. It'll be cleaner in the mix on, you know?
There's another thing that's affecting that is I've got some reverb on it and it's being automated. You see this?
Yes.
So it's like adding a reverb. Where's that reverb? That's without the reverb.
I like that reverb.
But I wonder if
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the rising sound. Okay, the gated thing. But it's kind of muddy.
Because we have a lot of stuff going on in the bottom, right?
So yeah, I wonder like
think that
if
needs
we
to
leave
be
that
cleaned up.
reverb, yeah, especially because it's faster, there's less space for sound
Yes.
because things are
Yes.
happening faster. So maybe if we brighten it up, thin it out a little bit. So yeah, sometimes you do want to EQ your effects. Right, that's going to help clean up the lows a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. The kick, I think, is good. Actually, no.
It's one of
EQ the
these
kick?
kicks that has the reverb in it. It's like it's in the sample.
Which is fine, but can you compress it? No, actually, we need to EQ it
Yeah,
and add a bit of upper mid.
like
It needs to
punchy.
be a little bit more punchier. Yes. Yeah.
It sounds cool with that reverb in the break there. Part of what will
Yeah.
help is, I mean, do we want that rumble or not?
We keep it because it's part of the original and it works fine with the melodic sequence.
Okay.
Because this track is not about the bass line, but it's more about the synth sequence that we have.
Okay.
So this rumble just it does the job. I'm generally not a big fan of rumble bass anymore because it's been overdone. But we made this track, 6 years ago. So back then it was cutting edge. Oh
So
yeah,
more of that.
That's better. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
that seems like an extreme boost, but it kind of
it's
needs
good.
it.
It punches through better and from what I remember, yes, no, I've used this kick drum many times.
Yeah, we went from fighting over kick drums to using the same kick drums over and over again. No, it's because we finally would agree on one.
Yeah, that's another thing I have to say about you, John. When I worked with John on music, every track
He's
we
getting
made,
back at me for naming that preset Christian the Psycho.
no, but every track we made needed to have
A different,
everything new sounds.
Yeah.
Everything. New
No,
kick drum,
I've learned,
new
I've
hi-hats,
learned.
everything new, every track. But you know what? I learned a lot. I learned so much, so I'm not complaining.
Nope.
Kick is much better now.
It's sharper, right?
Yes,
Now,
much better.
another way to handle that, because the EQ sounds okay, but we could, and it's a more contemporary thing to use stuff like transient designers and things like that to like make it pop a little bit more. That's another way to handle it. I mean, I just want to try it.
Yes,
We could just leave it with the EQ like that, but like also using where is that one? It's a plug-in. We got
Also, keep in mind we got to make it sound good, but we also need to fix the arrangement.
oh yeah, we don't want to go too crazy, right?
No, because what should I say? I find that the underground, I hate to say that, but it's the truth. The underground techno guys are just like the EDM techno guys.
What?
People
Oh,
have very
them's
low.
fighting words.
People have very low attention spans these days.
All right.
These days, so the tracks need to be very dynamic and they need to change very fast.
It's funny. I was looking. This is a shorter version. We made the unreleased version of this has got like a minute longer or 30, 40 seconds longer, and then we already trimmed it down. So you think we should make it even shorter?
How long is the track? I'm just
It's like 5.5 almost 6 minutes. It's like 5.5 minutes right there.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay, so maybe we don't.
No, maybe we don't. But these days, I try to make my tracks. Most of my tracks are like 5 minutes, 5:30 max, because people get bored. You need to like do very dynamic arrangements and have fast changes. And it's the same with the commercial people as with underground people. And it's very interesting because the underground people always say, "Oh, I'm too cool for school. What I do is better than you." But
are they all like that?
They're exactly most of them are, yeah. But they're exactly the same as the commercial EDM guys. They need a change fast.
Strong opinions. You can always count on that from Christian Smith.
That's why you see Ben Sims mixing, a new track every 2 minutes.
Attention span. I mean, I think it goes beyond.
That too, of course. That's
genre.
Just a style. That's a style. No, but I'm just saying, people need to make more dynamic arrangements with faster changes these days.
Can you hear what I'm doing to the kick drum? I'm changing the subject. Can you hear what I'm doing to the kick drum? I put the transient shaper on. You hear it? It's like more snappy.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, that kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't. It's not necessarily EQ. You don't necessarily need to get like certain frequencies higher, but I can reshape it a little bit and make that click come out in a more even kind of a way.
Kick is good now. Let's move on. Kick is good.
All right, but let's hear it in the mix. That's how we'll really know. Oh, look, it's a big difference.
Big difference.
Let me go back a little bit. There's no transient shaper. Now it's knocking. I might have overdone it a little bit. Let me pull it back slightly.
Yes.
That's usually what happens with transient shaping. You do it and it sounds cool, and then you listen to it in the mix and you're like, and you pull it back.
Too much.
Yeah.
But this is good, man.
It's also pulling the rumble back a little bit, which is good.
Fine.
Okay. What else needs to be adjusted? I mean, the level of the kick is good. Doesn't need to be louder. I don't know. Level of the drums.
I feel that we should listen to the track from the beginning and go through step by step and see what needs to be done with the arrangement. And the same goes for the sounds.
Okay.
If we need to change anything.
All right. Whoa, what just happened? Sorry. I already like the brighter reverb. It's cleaner.
This is a bit like Steve Ahmad style, if you think about it.
Yeah, no, I think it's Rahmad, a little bit of Rob Hood. It's Detroity minimal influences here.
Yep,
which
totally.
I am proud to say I love that music.
Same here. Yes.
That low, you hear there's right before the 909 hi-hats came in, it's one of these hi-hats is kind of busy, right? I don't know if they're...
I'm fine. I don't find any... right now, I don't find we need to change anything.
Okay.
The hi-hats sound crisp and tight.
You were saying...
The 909s doesn't sound good. Sounds like a bit crusher on it or something.
It's the warping. It's the time compression. So that's what we gotta... We'll have to figure that out. All right, so we have to see how we can tighten up those hi-hats. The ride's okay. Ride a little loud, maybe?
Yes, too loud.
All right. But this part's okay.
So far, so good. No. I think the break is too long already. Although,
Not sure now?
I thought it was going longer, but no,
No,
this
that
is
was the
okay.
end of it, yeah.
Yeah, this is okay. I find that the main synth is a bit too loud as well. Maybe turn it down by like 2 dBs.
This guy.
Yes.
Forgot about that little like kind of bells, like metallic percussion in there in the back.
Cool.
But bringing down the main synth, which is quite bright, helped that come out a little bit more. This is nice right here.
Yes.
Rolling.
Yes. Is this the main break? Can you make it smaller so we can see the whole thing? Oh, no. Okay, it's short. It's good.
Yeah.
Nice. But the open hi-hat we need to replace.
Okay.
There's another synth behind the main synth right now. Can you solo that?
The droning one?
It sounded like a really fast. We need that takes up a lot of space. So I think we should tighten it up a little bit.
All right. So this is a very drony sound with a lot of reverb on it, and then it's running through a gate. See right there? So it's going from sustained to chopped with the gating effect and the auto pan. And then it gets, as the build comes up, it gets full again. There's the riser. That's just pitch bending up. Where's the automation? There it is. Huh. It might just be pitch bend, like MIDI pitch bend. I don't have any automation for the pitch. So, yeah, to make that sound less full is multiple things we got to play with. Let's hear it in the mix again.
Turn down the reverb, no?
Well, that's what it sounds like without the reverb. It's like the whole sound.
Yes, yeah. Then maybe it's just volume as well.
Yeah, I feel like EQ, in this case, EQ and lowering the volume, making it less bright, maybe. Like we can shelf some of this high frequency.
And maybe a sidechain?
That's gonna... Oh, right. Is there not one in there already?
I don't think so. Not on...
Making it less bright helped a lot. It's less sharp. What do you think? Was that enough? Or do you want to duck it with the kick a little bit?
I think it's good because it still needs to be audible. I like the sound and it complements nicely with the main synth.
Yeah, it's amazing what just a little bit of EQ will do. This sounds like a haze, like a shh on top of everything. And now just this turned into a mixing tutorial. How about that? Which is kind of what we're doing. Like, in addition to speeding it up, we're rebalancing it to, and I feel like changing the tempo required mix changes, right? It required things to be.
It always does.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even if you're still working on a track and you're like, maybe I should make it faster, maybe I should make it slower. If you change the tempo, you're going to make different decisions about compressors, anything time-based. Obviously, if you're not using synced delays, you're going to have to adjust your delay times. You might have to change your reverb tails, like to be shorter or longer, depending on the speeding up or slowing down. Like all of that changes. I mean, and that's another thing to consider here. I haven't noticed any time-based stuff that needed to be adjusted yet, but like if you're going to really get into the details, and we're not going to go as deep as I'm going to suggest right now, like probably even revisiting your compressor attack and release might be a thing depending on what you're compressing, right? Like I changed the shape of the kick drum with a transient designer. I should also be looking to see what the compressor is doing.
Or you could just EQ the kick drum as well. There's many ways
the first way
getting what you want, right?
The first way was also good. That kick drum sample we're using is a highly processed, compressed sound already. We didn't need to do a lot of radical compression to it. And also, the kick isn't speeding up or slowing down. It's just playing faster. So anyway. Hi-hat. Now we could, it's possible to, I'm going to split this. So the quick and dirty way to fix this would be that.
I'm fine with that.
Because I was trying to think, like, do we have to go through the trouble of making a whole new MIDI clip and finding another 909 sample and then program? I mean, that wouldn't be that hard, but it just, do we want to take that time? Or
yeah, no, that's much better. But also, as long as it doesn't sound bit crushed or like
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
Because the way the beats mode and warp mode is working in live is that it's keeping the sample, it's keeping the transient intact, and because we're speeding it up, it's not adding grains of audio, which is what makes it sound glitchy and rough. When you do a lot of time stretching, you hear little artifacts. When you speed something up, it actually removes stuff. And because it's the beats warp mode, it's keeping the attack of the drum the way it's supposed to be. So it's just, it's kind of almost the same as if you speed up, if you're using MIDI to trigger a sample and you speed up the MIDI, it's playing the sample more often. You're not compressing the length of the hi-hat that much in this case. So it sounds clean and sharp. And now I'm reducing this envelope so I can, it's literally like changing the decay on the sampler or whatever. Let's see if that works.
Can you mute it? I just want to see if the volume is right.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
I think it's good. Put it in.
Now it switched back to just the close. So the only place we need to switch it is where it's the open hi-hat is playing, right? So this section is just that. Oh, is there something going on in there?
Also, guys and girls, if you have any questions, just let us know. And
they do.
We try to answer them, right?
So I'm noticing something about the closed hi-hat where it is getting changed by the time compression. You can kind of hear there's that little extra swung hi-hat there. It sounds unquantized, and
the second one was fine.
Okay,
I think it's fine, man.
Now it's gone away. Like if I really wanted to be super precise about this, I would go in and make sure that the transients for those little extra ones are. Yeah, look, it's so quiet. It's hard even to see. Yeah, right there. That's that. Live didn't even give it a transient. So if I wanted to like make that perfect, I would do that. Actually, not even a warp marker. I would go insert transient, right? And now it's going to recognize it. I don't know if we need to bother doing that. You can still hear it okay.
I had no issue with this before.
Okay.
So I don't have an issue with it now.
Okay.
to me it was good before. So
we'll just leave it. Yeah, even if you don't hear it, then it's fine, right? If you don't hear the problem.
I mean, at the end of the day, what you want to do when you update and track, a track, you just want to make it sound more current,
Mm-hmm.
and and mix it down again if need be. But
Yeah.
if something is good, leave it as is, no problem.
Now, is there anything else we would do to this to like? I mean, if we change it too radically, like it's going to be like a different track almost, like, or a different version.
I was just thinking that is like we could add a vocal, we could add some stabs, but you know what?
That's a whole new thing.
No, this kind of track is meant to be like that. It's meant to be simple,
Yeah,
and just straightforward. Not much. Even though you can hear in this track, there is a lot of finesse. There's a lot of hi-hats. There are several sequences. They complement each other. It's meant to sound simple.
Yeah, it's repetitive, and it's you got to get that hypnotic groove going, and then it's up to the DJ to work with it.
Exactly, and in the club, these tracks really work.
Totally. Talking about groove, that question of groove or swing and shuffle, what's happening with that hi-hat that you're fine with, and I'm gonna be like totally obsessive about, is that because of the way the warping is happening, is that because those transients weren't there, like, live is playing the audio, those little slices of audio back faster, and the ones with the strong transients are perfectly on time. The ones where it didn't identify a transient are late. So it sounds like it swung or shuffled, and that actually could be okay, right? So I'm just pointing that out. And we want to make sure we finish fixing the hi-hats, right?
Yes.
Checking out the warp settings, making sure it's the way it's supposed to be. And I think this is where the open hi-hat comes in, and we need to fix that.
Yes.
How's that?
Better.
Shorter?
Better. Like this.
All right, so you like it at this? I have it at 63. That looks good, right?
Yes.
Yep. And the close is good.
Honestly, John, I feel like this part, you can cut like a good 8, maybe even 16 measures out. It's too long for no reason.
The beginning of this break?
Yeah, I feel the kick is dropped out for too long for no reason.
Okay. So we could just leave the kick in longer.
That's correct. Yeah, it should be gone now, obviously,
Okay, all right. Let me hold that thought. We're going to go back and fix it. I just want to make sure we don't forget about all the hi-hats. All right, so that should be 60, what was it, 64 or so?
Yes.
All right. Back to the closed hi-hat. That sounds good. That little deet, 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 deet is happening. Right, here's the next time that the hi-hats come in. I need to make sure that I switch the clips over properly so they don't get cut off in a funny way. This is some trippy noises in it, man.
That's nice.
I'm going to turn that reverb down a little bit. It's kind of going in the background. It was a little bit loud. I think that's it for the hi-hat. Yeah, the rest of it, there's no more open hi-hats, so I think those are all fixed. So let's go back to that break where we feel like the kick drum is out for too long. And that's definitely a thing with this kind of techno. Like, you don't necessarily want to have these long breaks all the time.
No.
Where
Definitely
is the
not.
kick?
That's more reserved for, how should I say, the EDM techno. TikTok techno.
Ravey techno.
TikTok techno.
TikTok techno. Please stop saying that. All right, so it's after this part. So we have it like you can see there's a high pass filter, so it's going to take away the low frequencies of the kick, and it's also adding some reverb. So you're saying we shouldn't do this? We should just keep it in?
We should push this another 8 measures later. Like copy the part from before and put it to the right, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I could do is where is the? I see what you mean.
This is
We can just
fine, you know?
right. We can take that.
You
and
know
move
what,
it over
John,
here.
No. Sorry, John.
And then move it back.
No, go back and just take the filter out. Don't filter out the kick.
So you just want it to stop? I thought you wanted it to keep going longer.
Well, it's kind of stopping because you're filtering out the kick, right?
Okay.
What I mean?
I know what you mean. So
the power is kind of gone once the filter.
So
is
do you want the
in
kick
full
to?
effect.
I'm thinking like to have it continue and filter up like over here and have it to just slowly disappear instead of stopping.
I'm fine with that too.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
I'm fine with that too.
Yes. All right. So let's see. Let's see if that works.
But then I think you should make the slope a little bit longer.
Okay. Like start filtering it out sooner.
Sooner, exactly.
Ah. There it goes.
Yep. Perfect.
And like the kick drum never actually goes away. It's still there.
Which is fine.
I like that. I like that.
Me too.
Oh my gosh, it's 2 o'clock. Did we achieve our objective, Christian?
I think we did, no?
All right.
It's kind of done, you know.
The hi-hat sounds nice and tight now. Make sure. Yeah. The level of the hi-hat's good, not too loud. I'm cool with this.
Yes, me too.
All right.
There's another break. Where's the second? Was it?
It's a short one.
Yeah, good.
Like there's a little one here. This one is just filtering the kick a little bit. So it's not really a full-on break.
Just play it. That was just one here.
All right. Yeah, we'll do the breaks and then we're done.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a
That's
break.
a break.
I guess. Yeah, I forgot about the synth coming. Good, right?
Very good.
All right, next break. This one, the kick drum actually does drop out. Nice reverb effect there at the beginning.
Which synth did we use for the main?
It's a
For the main sequence.
FM8.
Oh, nice. I forgot. Yeah, we saw that.
Good?
Yes.
Yeah. And then it's from here on in, it's landing. I don't think we need to mess with it anymore. And like, yeah, it's just over 5.5 minutes. I don't think we need to do any major condensing. All right. Why is the kick drum panned a little bit? That's an accident. Kick drum's loud enough? Probably.
I think it was good before, and it will be good now.
Yeah, we just made it slightly punchier. We didn't need to turn it up.
Exactly.
Crazy reverb in the background. It sounds like it's rattling. And that's it. We did it. Fantastic.